All right. Hey, everybody, a little Thursday message for you. Want to get right to it. The subject tonight, if you read, who's paying your bills? It's a big question. And many times we would be shocked who should be paying our bills because of the voices that we've listened to and the opinions we've listened to. Now, you can't blame them. People are going to talk, but it's your job. Well, you're accountable to accept what they say and let it steer your life, or ignore what they say and continue to pursue your dreams. One of the big, sorry for the clearing of the throat, and little disclaimer here, if you hear my little one squealing, it's because we just bought her a fabulous set of unicorn bed sheets tonight, so you may be hearing her yelling from downstairs. But, if people's opinions have the capacity to take you off course, then make darn sure they're paying your bills 10 years from today, because you may have just allowed them to steal your future. Opinions don't cash at the bank, folks. And the world is full of armchair quarterbacks and opinionated people. And the key is because there is so much noise out there, if you listen to it and allow that consensus to steer your passion or to extinguish your fire, then there you go. You listen to them. And, one of the big ways to be successful in a home-based business of any kind, regular business, any endeavor, it doesn't matter what it is, from the Elon Musks that are doing all the wild stuff with Tesla to, a single mom that has just began to start her home-based business because she needs to. And everybody in between, and every venture in between, it's the same thing. You have naysayers and you have opinions. And the people that can ignore the opinions and the naysayers can usually see the success if they have the fortitude to outlive it. The people that fall prey to it and constantly are affected by it, as I say, if their opinions have the capacity to take you off course, just make darn sure they're paying your bills for 10 years from today, because you may have just allowed them to steal your future. And that's one of the big things I had to deal with when I first got into the home-based business industry. And at that time, I'm 18 years old. I'm driving a 1967 Le Mans convertible, living in Atlanta. I'm from there, from Buckhead, lived in the suburbs and that whole thing. And my hair was like that big. It was gigantic. Gigantic curls and just tons of it. And, I have to pull it up in a big scarf just to, I know it's a shocker, right? And so, I'm engaged in the industry. And at the time when I first got in, I was in financial services, a home-based financial services. And it was really, high tech and advanced and tons of regulatory. And, it wasn't even the fact that I had the giant head of hair and I was young and trying to grow in understanding of the industry. It's the fact that people's opinions at that time, you're too young, what do you know about this, how could you possibly, just ridiculous comments, and it affected me. It was like you're getting punched back and forth, and you have to be able to get up, go sit in the corner of the ring, have them squirt water down your throat, some smelling salts in your nose, and then get back out and fight again. And it's really like that. So I want to ask you this: who in the world have you been listening to? Now let's start with the big one. Is it a spouse? Here's my opinion. It always has been. And Holly will tell you this: she's amazing. She's absolutely an extraordinary human being. I'd like to do an entire month-long series just talking about how fantastic that woman is. But in the beginning, this was not her wheelhouse. She was the 4.7 GPA, could have gone to any school in the world, for free. She had never missed a sick day. She was super, super intelligent in her work ethic, but she did not understand home-based businesses or going in that direction. So, I come in the house side saddling, with my 6 guns. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to retire you. That's the wording I used at the time. It's not compliant wording, but there's no wrong with talking about a historical statement. And she said, I wish you'd go get a real job. And that was tough, guys. But it was, my immediate answer was, I will not go get a real job and I will bring you home this year. And I just chose not to have any conversations with her about what I was doing. Love her, be an amazing husband, which I am. And I was just out there making it happen. And she'd ask me every day, she goes, what are you going to go do today? I said, well, I'm going to go make it happen. And that used to drive her crazy, right? She'd say, okay, hold on. I hate it when you say that. What do you mean? Go make it happen? And I'm not exposing her, believe me. Where she was strong, I was weak. And where I was strong, she was not as much. And so we, together, what happens? It worked. And so we carried each other's weight but she said, would you get a real job? I said, I won't do it. And I just said, I'm going to go make it happen. And the fact that that was not specific enough used to drive her berserk. Okay. Now, I don't suggest any of you do that in your home-based business. I had been in the industry 17 years before I jumped into our current one over 12 years ago. We do a lot of things, but this particular income stream of the home-based business was over 12 years ago. And so I just chose not to have the conversation with her. And I always say this, and again, guys, this is not me making any statement, but there's not a disgruntled spouse in the world that won't have a hallelujah moment when a $5,000 residual check shows up at the house, or $6,000 or more, or whatever it is your goal is in the industry, right? $500 is a hallelujah moment, right? We can get groceries, right? Because remember this, it's not even about making these Herculean moves like I'm going to go full-time and make a fortune. Some people choose that, and they should. I suggest it. I think it's great. But remember, the home-based industry, now we're talking specifically more now direct sales, right? $250, $500 a month, $750 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500, $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month is life-giving to most people. Life-giving. Okay? Some will go on and do Herculean things, and I think you should. It's out there for you. But it's about adding that lift to your life. Now, if a family needs a lift, do you know how many people keep their jobs for daycare? You know how many people for an extra $1,000 a month would have a radical and complete total option list that they could actually operate in their lives? An extra grand is shockingly helpful to people. Again, no, I don't know what company you're in. I don't know what home-based business you do. But the point is that we have to remember that most people, first of all, don't survive the opinions of others. The fear of what other people think about you is one of the top most terrifying. And again, okay, so their opinion, they had something to say. They had something negative. A spouse said it, a friend said it, a brother said it, a sister said it. Somebody that had been in a home-based business years ago. Yeah, I knew a guy that 10 years ago had a friend that knew a guy that used to work for the mail service, and he failed in the industry. That's brilliant. Brilliant. But that's the kind of logic that people bring to the table. Most people fail in it. I covered that the other day. Watch the other videos that are below. They say a million different things. Some people are just mean as snakes. That stuff doesn't work. Why don't you just go back to school? Go back to school? Really? How many of you have degrees?